university degree. Nanano and Madam Professor, fellow students, we're honored to be here, rediscovering the Kenyan in you. Apostle Kassan Mokan Chi, and over others in that said and obey. I wish I could speak I will miss it. But as an independent country, we still have English as our official language. That should say a lot about us. It's just said, don't know how to say something. If we can't take the English out, at least we should ask some of the things that we have. And even our both sides and everything, there should be that sense of pride in our people. If I put American visa here now, we are sure someone will be able to go to America. Maybe what? I regret. I was reading for Brunei survey, almost every major project you're Brunei can change. In the political statement, I refer to one AA. So how do we rediscover this Kenyan? A Kenyan that is proud to say that I can do it. And if others have to come in, they don't have to come in to be in charge, to come in to support us. That is the Kenyan that we are
Thank you very much. We just received Nana Apakranchi the seventh, the chief of Ekumfi Abata. I think this week they are celebrating their festival. And so they are here in their numbers with all the elders from Ekumfi Abata. Thank you very much for coming. Nana Apakranchi.
They say that every year we produce over 300,000 graduates from our universities. The last time I checked the SHS level, over 500,000 of our young people were writing exam. Many of our young people now want to travel outside our country. In the case of any competition, they send them to Harvard, Yale, Oxford, and they tell us that we have to be part of their needs. There are a lot of questions that we ask ourselves. And so from school, I wanted to build business. And I saw that the kind of training that they had given us, so to build business in our country, it was struggle. The weakness would come from the kind of mindset that we've been given and the kind of institutional infrastructure that we have trying to build business in our country. The school that you are in, I can say boldly that you are not being trained to come out and build business. You are being trained so that when you come out, somebody will employ you. Because if you look at the context, if you look at what we are taught in school, how you can build business with it. When you were young, we didn't see a lot of Chinese. There was no social media. You have a big challenge. And the Chinese don't come to Ghana to look for jobs. They come to Ghana to build. When you discover oil, when you discover gold, when you discover anything, the people who form these companies to mine them, they are not Ghanaians. So how do I become a proud Ghanaian? For me, a proud Ghanaian should be somebody who is equipped to be the ones building companies, businesses, owning them, and employing their fellow Ghanaians. I cannot be proud when the Chinese man is building a company and employing us. Even top management, they don't put us there. And the people are looking for jobs. And yet God has blessed us with a lot of resources. Somebody said that if you want to control any people, take charge of their education. Take charge of the minds of the people, the young ones. Because those who have become old now, somebody trained them. Much of their convictions, much of their trainings will come from the kind of training that they do. And so you are young here. I need you to become very proud of yourself as Ghanaians. And when you are building anything, your understanding of our culture is very critical. If you don't understand our culture, if you don't understand the way the people think, the way we behave, you can't build anything for us. And if your emotional intelligence is not that strong, it's difficult for you to work with any people. If you have heard some of our business people say, you can't even trust Ghanaians. You hear it all the time, you can't trust Ghanaians. When they work for you, they steal from you. Don't you hear it? We hear it. Many businesses, they say collapse because of the way Ghanaians work. I say that we've been programmed much of even if you look at the history that they teach us, much of the history they teach us, they start from a Mina castle when the white man came. And everything that the white man came to teach, I dare say, was to put you down. The white man was able to tell us that God is white and the devil is black. We say teach us in our schools. I dare say that in your schools, they say teach you the same thing. So you, young ones, you have to develop yourself. Don't rely on the content of the school to build anything significant in our country. You have internet. Self-education should be one of your primary tools. Go and learn history beyond what they taught you. Because the history that they're teaching us, that is what is responsible for us. When we see white people, we want to bow. We don't say hate them. But if anybody came to fight you, and they came to fight for your resources, there's no way they will give you an education that will make you strong. There's no way they will give you an education that will make you mind your own gold and industrialize and build companies. And that is where we are now. So I say that use the internet. Change your mind, change yourself. Don't just rely, write the exam, pass, go to university, get PhD, whatever. But to build life, you must have that education yourself. If you don't do that, and you meet difficulties in the economy, and you meet a lot of them. If you open a provision shop now, GRA will come there and lock you. Because the business infrastructure that we have is designed not to make our people grow and expand in terms of business. And so when you're in school, this is the right time to study. Read is okay, read the chemistry, the physics, the biology, but that will not help you to build a life that you want. Unless you get a job. And the statistics for jobs, they are not good. Which means that you would have to build something for yourself. Either you go to farming, you trade something, and you have to be proud of that. So that you will not just say that, oh, I need to get out of Ghana and get to Nicaragua or get to America. And if I go to America, I'll prosper. If that were true, the Chinese would not be here. So train yourself. Read books. One of the things that I trained myself with was financial education. I read a lot about finance. Because I saw that nobody is preparing you to become prosperous. And you cannot achieve anything significant if you don't have the right knowledge. Knowledge, they say, is the seed for change. If you want to see any growth, any progress, any development, knowledge must come first. If the people don't know, they cannot do it. And so you, as young ones, you must go for knowledge and always ask yourself, this knowledge that they're giving me, where can it take me to? If I'm there, even in the classroom, ask yourself, this kind of knowledge that you're teaching me, what is it making me? Ask the history teacher. This history that you're teaching us not always put the white man as God. What do you expect me to become? Question all the time. And one of the things that you have to pay attention to is critical thinking. Don't just say, oh, we came to meet it. Ask questions. Where is the cause? Where is the effect? What is behind this? When you see the output, ask yourself, where is the input? These things, they need to teach us as Africans. Because if I sit back and I look at our people, I see a great people who have largely been uninformed. Alright? And you can hear that from the mouth of our people when they talk, the negativity. We talk negatively almost about everything. Even if we are doing well, we still talk negative about things. But that's my problem business one. When any or try and perform for one farmer. Now, quite a farmer or any secretary will do about that one on share of the man. So something psychologically is not right with us. And so we must, you as young people, you must study history, study your culture. And there is something they call consciousness. The consciousness is the one that raises you as level. When you see another race, Indian, Chinese, you don't crumble. You stand as a money, and that comes from knowledge. And many times when you see many of our people, you will see that that is lacking. So if you want to build anything, if you want to build an idea, innovate, and we need a lot of you to do that. It's not right that the Chinese young people are thinking of dominating the world, and our people are looking for visa and job. So how would our country develop if all of us are looking for employment? It's allowed. And we are throwing the resources that we have to foreigners. We need to change that. And ministers of education is MP, if I wish you would train your people, or at least take it upon yourself to say that the content that we have is not taking us anywhere. If you didn't study about finance, if you didn't study about history, if you didn't get a lot of information on emotional intelligence, we would not be where we are today. We have retail shops, we have real estate development companies, and we did not take money from government or loan. Why? Because we have to have a particular understanding. One of the things that you need is courage to face life. You will fail many times, you will fall, but you still have to bounce back. If you write the exam and you don't pass, write again. If they fail you, write again. Write until you succeed. If you fail, that's not mean you have to give up. And that is really needed if you want to build business in Ghana. You will fail so many times. Your friends and family will tell you, why do you want to do that? We send you to school so that you become a doctor. And many times when you want to create wealth and prosperity and financial freedom, it is when majority of our people are building businesses. Because companies are the ones that they use to create wealth. It's a tool for wealth creation. And so when you have a country, the majority of the people are looking for jobs, what you're going to see is that the people are going to be poor. And that's what we see in our country. Especially when you see the people we have sent to school, first degree people. Many of the businesses that they own, the people who own these businesses, many times they do not have higher education. Why? Because the higher education trainers become secretaries and accountants and engineers and be very happy with 5,000 a month. When the foreigners are taking millions, you go to a bank, you see the Chinese man with Chalwati, and he's counting millions, and you're very happy. It is not right. And this is the time that you have to see that and be angry. So when you move around and you see foreigners in charge of companies, be angry. Because you will not go to China and see your people owning businesses. But we are very much comfortable. And that has to change. And I say that you must educate yourself. Read books, challenge yourself. Read about finance, read about history, read about how to lift any idea and turn it into a business. And be proud of yourself. You can start by selling cocoa or watching or wine. It does not matter. It does not matter how the idea you started. What matters is you learn. Somebody is selling water. It's called water. A Kuya is also selling water on the head. The difference is the understanding of the structures that you need to build a business. And we need to put this in our people intentionally. If you look at the history of education, much of it was religious. So sometimes I tell myself, the school that we are giving in Africa and the church or Islam, they are the same. Because the same people brought us. So they put you in classroom, the morning worship, from morning to evening. You go to secondary school, the guy has to study, he won't study. He's praying. So when he completes school, do you expect him to do anything? God has to come and do it for him. And God is not the one coming to build the companies for us. We must believe that we can do it. We must have self-confidence in ourselves. We must have that boldness to say that this is our country and nobody is going to build it but us. Alright? And so bring yourself to the culture. Still, there are so many beautiful things in our culture. We love people, believe it or not. We have heart for one another. They tell you that we were selling ourselves, and that's one of the history that they told us. And we have bought it. Many times we had a lot of great kings and queens who fought them. That history they will not teach you because they want you to break it, they want to break it. And if you want to conquer any people, change their sense of history. They say history is the foundation of education. So it does not matter the kind of education they are giving you. If the history about yourself is wrong, they have conquered you. And that's why sometimes you can see a lot of our big, highly educated people, and they still will trade everything for themselves or give everything to the foreigner. Why? Because the kind of history that they told them was wrong. You know, so you need to have respect for us if you don't know that. Have respect for Africans. Don't raise others above ourselves. Let's try and let's learn to have trust for ourselves, believe in ourselves. If you want to travel, no problem. But don't think that until you travel, you will not prosper in our country. We don't need a lot of our young people to think like that. We want to see you see the opportunities in our country. And even when you are in school, think like that. Don't think that when I finish school, I'm coming to look for a job. Because many times you'll be disappointed. But there are so many opportunities around us if you are taught how to pick an idea and turn it into a business. So your ability to solve problems is key. Don't run away from problems. Because that is how you become great. And that is why emotional intelligence is that key. Because people who break so easily don't have the toughness within. People who break so easily don't have the toughness within. So you need to learn that I'm going to solve problems. And life really is about solving problems. If you cannot solve problems, you cannot win in this life. Those who succeed, who are able, let's say you have a business, you employ one person. Your problems will be different from the person who has employed 100 people. Which means that the person who has 100 people can solve more problems. And that person will be more successful than the other one who has employed one person. The other thing you need to tell yourself is I want to develop very great work ethics. And I want to be somebody who is very brutally honest. Oh yeah, the that's one kind of rare. Obeng. Will be the situation on some kind of rare. Who person will charge you, catch the difference charge you say, from this stage. If you don't have anything at all, build on that one. That I'm going to be honest, brutally honest. If they send me, this is the money. If I work anywhere, this is the money. And that really is your capital. Your honesty is your capital. All right? And when you go anywhere, now you have internet. If you are 15 years here, you should have source of income. Don't put income somewhere when you finish school, you come and work and then somebody will give you money. You should have source of income. That's why the internet is there. And you are brilliant. There are so many things that you can do there. When they say that go to school, and when you come and work, that's what I've been doing 40 years, you're still not financially free. Why? Because you started to learn about money that late. And somebody designed that. Alright? So go into the internet, learn it. I'm not talking of fraud. I'm talking of so many things over the internet that the elderly people may not know, that you know. How do I make income on the internet? There's nothing wrong if at this stage you have 500,000 cedis. And people, your colleagues are doing it somewhere. The social media that you see, young people build that. And that is what we have to do. Stop watching Manchester United and Chelsea. They don't care about you. Stop man bet. That's not how you build greatness. Life is not lotto. You don't become prosperous by taking lotto. So young people who are in school, taking man bet all the time, you are wasting your destiny. Learn money. Do something significant. What can you sell? That is the kind of generation that we can be proud of as Ghanaians. All right, where you stand somewhere and you talk, and we can be proud of. It's not music and sports only. If you watch TV and movies, wherever you see Africans that they say they have done well, it's music and it's what? It's entertainment. No, we need innovators. We need people who own industries, because that is where the real game is. The footballer is not richer than the owner of the team. And the skill set to play is different from the skill set to own a team and manage it. And we are talking of ownership. And we have to up our game and think of ownership. And if you look at the financial infrastructure that we have around the world, Africa, we are not part of the global financial structure. Even though they are teaching you accounting all the terms, you know, cash flow and all those that they teach them. Many times when they start business, they give the money. And the interest rate is just 2-3%. When you start business in Ghana, who will give you money?
Last year.
And if you go to take loan, it's 40%. That's not something that you can work with. So look at what your grandfather did. My grandfather was a cocoa farmer. When he was maybe around 70 years, he had a plot, he had a Bedford, it's a track. He started to, stockpile sand on it. When he was very old, that was what he was selling to eat. And yet there are a lot of educated people who, when in their retirement, somebody has to take care of them. This kind of intelligence, go back to your village, see what you can do there. We need you to do that, because that is where our greatness is. You cannot serve a culture that you don't understand. That is why the people who sent their children abroad and they came and they gave them the business, they collapsed it, because they did not understand the culture. And many times the people who even send abroad, when they come to run the economy, they send it. Why? Because they don't know the pain point. And so the people we need to train to develop in our country, take charge of our country, must be the people who understand us, who understand our culture, who are proud of us, and who will not be afraid of the Chinese or the Italian or the Indian. We need to raise the people like that. And if you're not good in mathematics, learn it. If you're doing business, you will need it. Don't say that I don't know math, learn it. Because math is a tool for problem solving. If you have 10 people and you're paying everybody 100, and you say you can multiply, they will cheat you. And really, that's the essence of the school. It's not the Einstein that they are teaching you, because they make it seem like without Einstein, have you ever, in your science book, have they ever mentioned a Kwesi Preku as somebody who discovers anything in science? It's all white people that they are put there. So the Indians did not discover anything in science. The Chinese did not discover anything in science. The Africans did not discover anything in science. So until they came, we didn't have anything, isn't it? Challenge all this, because if you want to raise strong Africans, we must have the people who believe that they have representation in greatness and in history. We cannot always be taught our weakness. And that is our problem. We are always referring to the weakness that the white man is. All right, but we must look for science, look for management. If you look for war, where are the points that we were victorious? That is what they have to teach us, because that is what they teach their people. They don't teach their defeat to them. They teach their victories, but we are constantly being taught our defeats. And that is why we have raised the people. When you put this out there, they say, no, I don't need it. He's a doctor here, but he will become a care assistant in America. Why? Because same value is not there. And that's why we will need our people to sacrifice. And great people sacrifice. And great people have different kind of knowledge. There's a difference between a maid and an heir. The one who's to take the throne will be given different kind of education. I dare say that the kind of education that we are being given, we are prepared to be made. And that's why we are always scrambling. We wait for help all the time, from top to bottom. We are always looking for somebody to come and help us. And yet we have land everywhere that God has blessed us with. We are using tools that they gave us that don't work. That's why we are struggling. And the moment you start to think of this, you see that there are so many opportunities that you can create. You don't need to stop it or complete school before you start to solve problems. And we need a lot of people to think like this. Do I have time? No, okay, so thank you. My name is Obeng. If you go to social, but that's